Robles jersey, MLWmerch.com. Buy it twice. I can't wait.
Welcome back to Fade the Mahoney, everybody. We're doing a quick Week 6 series recap between the Diamondbacks and the Mallards. Nothing. We just thought we'd have Jordan Robles stop back by and help us break down the series a little bit. Trevor's here as well. Where do we start? It was a pretty good series for you, Jordan. Congratulations. It worked out all right.
Yeah, I would say definitely went our way. Very excited. Like, playing Norp was definitely something I was looking forward to, and I'm glad that it went our way. Tommy Coughlin is a savage. The guy's hitting the ball. He's getting the best he has in his career. Things are going our way from worst to first.
All right. It went really well for me. I had the over. So that was $100 I won from Trevor. And then in our new ladder wagering that we're doing, Trevor had Jimmy. I had you. Worked out well for me. So 2-0 for me. What do you got, Trevor? What do you got?
I think, we got to start with exactly what Jordan just talked about with how Tommy's playing. How much do you think, Jordan, do you think it's just him getting some extra practice in, or is it that he's getting better pitches to hit with you in the lineup? What do you think it is that's been the cause of his resurgence here at the beginning of the season?
I think just a little bit of everything. I'm sure the criticism that he got at the end of last season and just having their worst performance in the history of their franchise, that would motivate anybody. But we do we watch a lot of film. I guess I myself personally do. We're always talking in the group chat about arm angles, like pitch tendencies, pitch sequences, what guys like to throw as their strike pitch. And even aside from just that, just like breaking down our own at-bats, like, we need to be more selective. We need to not chase drop in the dirt, make guys throw certain pitches for strikes before we start swinging at them. So, like, kind of a little bit of everything. And then Tommy putting in the time too. He's definitely practiced a ton, practiced all weekly. So a little bit of everything. But he's definitely earned it, and he puts in the work. So that's why he's having the performance that he's having so far in the season.
He had some really good insight today's Pipe It Up. Not sure if you've listened to it yet, Trevor, but
No chance.
He went into pretty good detail about himself and his body, which was pretty interesting. So everybody, after you watch this, give Pipe It Up a listen. I have a Tommy question as well. Can you help with the headband thing? Could you help him out?
I'll be the tire of the headband. I think that's
it could be upgraded, like a Nike headband or something,
yeah.
Something.
Like a Jumpman headband. I think that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We might have to get Funk Eyes on that. That might be the next thing. The TC3 Jumpman headband.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know. I personally like the bandana look. That's the look I rocked in high school 22 years ago or whatever it was. I had the bandana. I also have some cornrows in there too sometimes, but that's the way it was then. It's
classic look.
Yeah, classic look. My question, so you guys got out to great starts in the first two games. Obviously, you guys kind of got all over them. What was your approach with pitching against the Diamondbacks? It seemed like Norp was seeing you pretty well. I thought Shima was seeing the ball pretty well as well. What was your approach against them?
Yeah, so obviously Jimmy Norp, crazy player, reigning MVP. So kind of going in, I was like, I need to be careful with Norp in the sense, if I'm pitching to him, if he comes up with guys on base, it makes no sense to attack him. But in that same sense, I cannot put guys on base for him. So like you're saying, Shima was seeing me well. Jonah Heath didn't swing at any bad pitches. He drew a lot of walks, got on, but plan was just throw strikes, be careful with Norp if people are on base. Us scoring so early kind of really made it simple for me, like the 5-run first inning. After that, I'm in attack mode. I'm just going to pound the zone. If they hit 5 solo home runs off me, congratulations. But I'm just going to make them beat me with the bats. So I'd say it's kind of why, balls put in play more, but they're also a great hitting team. So regardless, game 2, they put the ball in play a ton off me.
There was one thing I was really curious about that. I don't know if it was just the angle or what it was, but it seemed like you got some strikeouts on what almost seemed to me like just a straight ball pitch. Like maybe it was a riser, or I don't know exactly what it was, but was that intentional? Was it just the way the ball was scuffed, or what was that?
Yeah, so that was my attempt at a screwball. That was the nice ball screwball grip, right? The only problem with that is that it wasn't screwing or doing anything. Exactly what you said. It was going straight. But the fact that I was throwing such a dead straight pitch. I think that genuinely threw off Norp and Shima in the beginning because who throws a straight fastball? But thankfully it didn't swing at either of them. But yeah, I felt like maybe it was wiggling a slight bit, and that had like a little slight drop. But for the most part, some of them were dead straight. Like the one the Shima was dead down the middle. But thank God they didn't swing.
I was like, is this next level? Is it what is he doing here? Like, what is this? They're just not even. They don't even know what to expect now.
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn with the cement ball. It's taking time.
Yeah,
work in progress still.
On our preview show last week, we spoke with Jimmy Norp. It was an excellent show, excellent interview, excellent player. He put up huge stats in defeat. Were you surprised he didn't start Game 3?
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't start Game 2. I know he's been saying that he health-wise, I guess, hasn't been the best, but I felt like you cut out the first inning from Game 1 and they would win that game. You know what I mean? So I thought Game 2 it would be another battle, me versus him. But Jonah Heath is a great number 2, so he honestly kept us in check. Tommy busted it open with the solo shot, but he pitched well. You know, aside from the long balls, he had his stuff moving. He was throwing strikes. So when you have that many arms, I guess it's the right thing to do to give a different look rather than run Jimmy out there. It would be our 4th straight inning seeing him. So it can go either way.
Could also be some gamesmanship for the future. Assuming they think that they're going to make the playoffs, then you don't get a good look at him, and you know they can show it better in the playoffs. And
that's another thing that, like, after the fact, I was thinking about that a little bit myself. Like maybe he's trying to limit the looks that we get off him until the playoffs if we both make it, but who knows?
Yeah. The other question I had was in regards to the third game. It was pretty interesting that the same scenario came up again with you guys going to extra innings, and this time you guys stuck with Tommy. Was that a discussion you guys had, or how did that go?
Yeah, it was a discussion we had, but to the first series with the Cobras, again, I threw 6 innings. They had seen me a ton, so we kind of thought, like, let's not make the same mistake again. But I felt like I just pitched better than I did against the Cobras. I was throwing the ball a lot faster, staying consistently between 70 to 72. Kind of had a little bit of a riser screwball working, but just knowing I need to throw in the 70s. I can't be throwing mid-60s like I was against the Cobras because my pitchers don't have enough movement yet to the point where I can throw at that speed and it won't get hit, you know? So just keeping the velocity at the maximum and taking my warnings in 0-2 counts. It's like I just felt a lot more comfortable, a lot more in control this time around, Series 2 on the mound.
That's cool to hear. But yeah, so Tommy did start the 4th inning, right? And then he walked 2 guys, right? And then you came in after that. It's like,
yeah,
give him a shot at it. And
yeah. But yeah, if I didn't walk that the guy did when I came in, then I would have got out of that, you know, with zeros across the board, but it didn't happen that way. It didn't work out that way.
I don't know if anybody else thinks it's amazing, but they've played 6 games and Jordan has 6 decisions.
That hasn't happened. There's no way that's happened in MLW since they made this rule. There's no chance.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Hey, I wanted to personally thank you. I think your first at bat, maybe it was, I've watched it twice. You hit the ball foul in the dirt and you ran hard to first base. Thank you for that. You don't get that. You don't get that from everybody in the league. You don't get that from everybody in the league.
East Coast, yeah.
East Coast, you know, everything is life or death to us, no matter what it is. It could be craps, wiffle ball, you know, 100% all the time. All gas, no brakes.
Love it. I have one more question about this series. Obviously, we didn't see Caden at all, and you guys had Ben Wilson and Davenport. What was how come you guys didn't? I feel like Wilson is the better defender, as you guys saw, you know, bringing him in the 3rd inning. How come you guys didn't go with him just in the field and Davenport DHing?
Yeah, so I learned this myself also, that you can only DH for the pitcher. I don't know if that's a new rule now or, but yeah. So we fielder, like every other league that I play in, you have the ability to DH for a fielder, but MLW, not the case.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I was wondering. I was like that. I feel like you guys would. That's what you guys would do if you could do it. You know, Wilson's a good fielder. Davenport can hit. Yeah, I mean, obviously Wilson can hit too, but you know, whatever.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Yeah, it would have made sense. Ben came up big though last inning of game one, like tracking down the fly ball that went foul. Like that was a play only he will make, you know. I don't know if any of us on the team would have gotten there. But he came up big.
Yeah. Jojo, if you get a chance, watch some Ben Wilson defensive highlights from a couple years ago. He's got some really amazing plays.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the other guy. Is he going to be playing anytime soon? Do we know? Mr.
Caden Irwin? Yeah, so from what I've heard, he will be at the series June 26th, and he should be the rest of the season. Definitely for Oklahoma, and definitely for our next one, June 26th. So it's going to be exciting. I've never played with Caden Irwin in my life, played against him tournaments throughout the year, so it'd be awesome to be on the same side.
That series is pretty big, huh? I think it's the last series of the third slate, week 12.
Yep.
Pretty big series against the Eagles. That'll be exciting.
Yeah. Should be 5-1.
Yeah. And great pitching matchups. I'm really interested to see. I can't wait to see the Dallas Allen versus you matchup. Him pitching versus you hitting. I want to see what you can do with his pitching.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game. I love that each series, I feel like every series that I've played in so far has had a little bit of hype or anticipation, like just the debut against the Cobras, then the defending champions, reigning MVP Jimmy Norp. Now the next test is 5-1, team tied in first place with us. Guys throwing back-to-back no hitters, you know, Dirty Dan on the mound. So it's definitely going to be a great series. Everybody should tune in.
Love it.
Oh, also buy the jersey.
Buy it twice. Don't forget, buy it twice.
Buy it twice. Speaking of, the biggest controversy that came out of that whole series, at least from what I've been reading on the internet, how come the Diamondbacks got button downs and you got pullovers?
So the jersey design was Tommy Coughlin, and I love our jerseys, honestly. The button down is awesome, don't get me wrong, but I love the classic retro, like 70s look that we got. I think that Triton does a fantastic job with their designs and the quality of their gear. I think they should make the Mallards 5 more jerseys, you know, maybe 2 button downs and 3 regular V-necks. What do I know?
They're sharp.
You got anything else you want to ask, Trevor, or should we get to some gambling?
No, let's get to some gambling.
It is my understanding, Jordan, you like to put down a bet from time to time, so I'm going to give you 2 things to bet on. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
First one, I hear you're a huge NHL fan.
How do you know?
The Avalanche and the Lightning Stanley Cup starts tomorrow night. The Avalanche are pretty big favorites at -175. Lightning take back is +150. If you had to bet on it, who would you bet on?
So where is the game being played? Is it in Colorado?
No, I'm asking for the whole series. Who do you think?
For the whole series, I think you got to go with the champs. Now, I'm not a hockey enthusiast by any means, but I did bet against the Lightning a couple of times last year because they're playing the New York Rangers. But I would have to go with the champions. Aren't they the back-to-back reigning defending champs of the Lightning, right?
Yep, they are.
So,
They've won the last 2, and they were down 2-0 to your Rangers, and then the Rangers decided they didn't want to win anymore.
Yeah, so you have the defending champions at plus money. You absolutely need to go with the Lightning.
There you go.
That's a value bet.
That's the kind of stuff we come here for. All right, last pick, Thursday night, big game, Celtics Warriors. Celtics got a win to stay alive. They're favored by 4.
I saw that this morning too. So I just hit a pretty big bet yesterday with the Warriors -3.5, and then it did alternate totals 220.5. Hit the under on that. So if the Celtics would have covered 9.5 on another like parlay, I would have had a clean slate win yesterday. But Celtics -4, and it's being played in Boston, right?
That's correct.
I feel like, man, that's a tough one. It's win or go home for Boston. Again, I'm not an NBA expert, but in terms of gambling sense, I think Warriors close it out. You get the Warriors plus 4.
Yep.
I think that's a great bet, you know. I would have to go Warriors +4.
Okay.
Probably the under too. I know the unders have been hitting like crazy for the Celtics game, so probably think about the under, but definitely Warriors +4. Where you can tease the under and the spread, and you get those bonus points. So hey, maybe that's the bet. What do I know?
Advanced betting strategy with Jordan Robles.
Love it.
Always buy a point. Don't play yourself, right? Always buy a point.
The totals in those games, I think, just keep coming down.
Yeah.
Every time. I think they started at like 215, 216. They're down to 210 because I think every single one of them goes under. So you had
Like the opposite of MLW.
Yes. Just lack of offense, lack of people making the big shots in the big game. Put the ball in the bucket. Come on.
5-1 the overs are in MLW, which has been good for me. All right. So we've got Joey from MLW Stats on Instagram coming up in a couple of days for the preview of Predators, Wildcats. I got both those team names right, Trevor.
Good job.
Thank you. And then next week, big matchup between the Cobras and Magic. Got both of those right. And we're going to have Chadwick on to help us preview that. So pretty busy next few days. This was awesome, Jordan. We love it when you stop by. We hope you'll keep joining us from time to time.
Yeah.
Before we leave, a few weeks ago, I don't know if you remember, Trevor, my buddy Jimmy Bluffett gave us Justin Thomas to win whatever tournament that was at 18-1, and he came from 7 strokes back on Sunday.
Remember that.
I asked him for US Open. Jordan, if you've got DraftKings or whatever you've got.
I got it. Yeah. Got all.
This friend of mine, Jimmy Bluffett, he's pretty sharp when it comes to golf. If he only had one guy to bet on, it is chalk, but he likes Justin Thomas again. But if you want a little value, 4 guys he likes: Cantlay, Zalatoris, Finau, and a guy named Davis Riley he likes a lot. You can get Davis Riley 80-1 on DraftKings. So it's a little something to think about if anybody wants to bet.
Well, $20 wager, maybe $1,600. I don't mind that.
Yep. You got it. All right. That's the show. That was great. MLW is great. Jordan, appreciate you stopping by. Trevor, we good?
No problem.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
No problem.
Gambling, everybody.